Hey, it's the Fort Worth Playboy.
And my Playboys Bunny.
And what we're going to talk about today is an overriding philosophy of game, which is don't be boring.
Don't be boring.
Because what I really noticed is, in our little Twitter sphere, we work with some pretty top guys. Most guys kind of get this. And you start thinking, it's like when you're fit. You think everybody's fit. But some of my stuff leaked over into Facebook, into some of the masculinity groups, and they just didn't get it. I think it was something about like being late to your first date.
Oh, yeah.
And these guys, never. I'm always on time. I mean,
by on time, I mean early.
Yeah, it never be late. I'm not playing games.
Yes.
Like 99%. And I was like, we forget.
Yeah.
Most guys take themselves far too seriously.
Yeah.
And Marilyn and I were talking about why. I mean, a lot of times, it may be from not your natural, what would you say, your natural temperament?
Yeah.
But quite often it's like you see your dad. You didn't see your dad when he was 22 and, knocking back alcohol and banging chicks and driving a fast car. You see your dad, by the time you really know what's going on, he's like in his 40s.
40s, 50s.
He's been beaten down.
Yeah.
Maybe he's on a second or third wife.
He's at a shit job that he doesn't really like.
And he's just dead inside. So these guys you see walking around dead inside, and then you're like, well, I guess that's the way I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
But you're not supposed to be that way.
And there's a reason that your mom or your dad's wife looks like she's dead inside also, because he's been boring her to tears and making her life hell for 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah. And here's the this is why we say, because one, most guys are boring.
Yeah.
And eventually most guys get dumped.
Yes.
All these, we're always blaming the girls for dumping the guys, but you deal with a lot of men and a lot of like mediocre men. And
they're out there in droves.
They're the majority, and they're boring, dry, stilted, dull.
Oh.
And that's where game comes in.
Yeah.
It forces you to learn charisma.
Yeah.
If you're not naturally have a big personality or charisma, you can learn it. And that's where these silly, childish, dumb things that you can do with girl, teasing her, giving her a nickname, being late, all the things that do to manipulate her emotions.
Yeah.
Which keeps her excited and engaged.
Yeah.
Just like, I put up earlier today, like, what shouldn't really work with girls but does, and I call it stop hitting yourself game, where you take a girl.
Which is classic from elementary school.
Yeah, you play it with little kids play, you stop hitting yourself. Or your parents will do it. Your dad will definitely do it to you if he knows what he's doing. But you can take a girl and you take her by the wrist and you make her hit herself in the face for.
This is cracking you up. You're just thinking about it.
And they'll be shocked. You'll go, God, stop hitting yourself. And then hit her. You make her hit herself again. And they'll be like so shocked. They're either going to start laughing and they'll fight with you, but they're girls, and how hard can they fight?
That's something you were teasing me about just the other day. We were talking about the difference in male and female strength, and you were imitating how soft it is, even when we are mad and we're like punching at you and stuff, and how soft it is from a male perspective. Yeah, it's
surreal because a girl will hit you, and you can see her hitting you, but you don't feel it. It's bizarre.
It's like a little kitten paw.
Yeah, it's strange. It's like there's no force there, but
it's a great example of just teasing.
There's so many things going on. Even with girls, like to feel your strength.
Yes,
it's kind of crazy, erotic. I mean, sometimes girls forget how weak they are compared to you.
Yeah.
And it's just stupid. And it's just not the same old boring bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And stuff like that, teasing, giving her a nickname, the exact opposite. MPB is in great shape. And probably the first 2 years, I was always like calling her fatty. Or, she'd be walking and I'd start making tuba sounds behind her.
He'd tell me that we needed to reinforce the floors because I was stupid. So heavy.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, some girls take themselves a little bit more, but behind closed doors, most of them don't want a bunch of serious bullshit.
No.
They're kids. They're adolescents. Like we always say, who's the biggest teenager in the room? It's the woman.
Yeah. Well, and like you point out all the time, girls have a lot of kind of shit in their day-to-day lives.
Think about her basic day. She gets up, she's got a shower, gets ready for an hour and a half, fights traffic, goes to Starbucks, fights more traffic, shitty job, boss is yelling at her. She doesn't have the mental capacity for high stress, and it's getting thrown at her.
Yeah.
Lunch, she's trying to watch her figure, and she's got cupcakes in front of her. And then she comes home, and she should go to the gym, but she doesn't because she's had such a shitty day. And now you walk in.
Yeah.
It's a long, shitty, and you're serious.
And a lot of guys will walk in, hit the door. They've been on all day. They've been playful. They've been fun. They've been selling. They've been doing whatever. And then they walk in and they fall apart and they are just like melt into their lazy boy recliner and don't fucking move. They bellow. They drink.
Smoke pot. Play video games.
I mean, they're just angry. They're pissed off. They're
and they're looking
drab.
At 50 years of this. So you have to, especially in the beginning, force yourself to engage her and jack around and do stuff and keep it light.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys are like, well, you don't have to be a dancing monkey.
No.
You don't have to be an entertainer.
You're not the court jester.
But if you don't have a funny bone in your entire body, there's things you can do to increase. You can watch comedies.
Yeah.
You can watch stand-up comedy, and just stuff like that will expose you to funny things.
Yeah.
I mean, guys are usually better about it because you get guys into their work environment or a locker room, and there's banter because it's the pecking order.
Yeah.
So you probably know how to do this.
You're used to fucking with each other.
Yeah, you can fuck with your girlfriend.
Yeah. Well, and you have a good point. I mean, granted, you came by a lot of things just naturally.
Yeah, showing up.
Your family is naturally charismatic.
Yeah.
You came from it genetically. You had a lot of right place, right time.
Yeah.
You're tall. You look great. Like all kinds of things. But one of the things that benefited you that you've talked about a lot is that you were a bouncer much earlier in life. You were a bouncer for a comedy club.
Yeah, and within like a couple weeks, I was like, man, these guys are quick.
They are quick.
Quick. And then you start getting lines.
Yeah.
Because you don't realize it, and I didn't realize it. The comedy that you see, like stand-up, it's the same script.
Yeah.
They do the same routine. That's why it's called a comedy routine. 3-4 times a day.
Yeah.
Different audience. It's actually easier to find a new audience than is new material.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys work on this material for years and
they
decades.
mess with the audience a lot.
Exactly.
That's what I love about watching stand-up comedy on the specials or YouTube
Yeah,
or
I was
whatever.
exposed to, in comedy clubs. I mean, and I was exposed to it while sitting at the back of the room,
That's awesome.
for a couple of years.
That's awesome.
But
so, it goes a long way. I think that's where the guys who aren't naturally charismatic or funny or playful or lighthearted could learn to become such. You can't expose yourself to that kind of
without
stuff.
picking it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it carries over, into like busting your buddy's balls.
Yeah. It's just,
and girls, you don't have to be as rough with girls.
No.
They will cry. But that's the deal. And so that's what we really wanted to convey, because so many guys, and I mean like 80%, maybe 90%, are too serious, too much, too often, and it makes them boring and dry and horrible. And they're not like that all the time, but they are with their girls, and the girls is probably the least, needs that the least.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's
she needs
true.
you to be decisive and, lead her and show her which way to go.
Yeah.
But you can do it in a lighthearted manner and keep her, and entertain, and you're entertained at the same time.
Well, and truly, whenever you have levity in most areas of your relationship with your girl, then when you're serious, she recognizes this is somewhere
serious.
that I shouldn't push back.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I think it actually benefits in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
because if you're serious, then she shouldn't
She
fuck
knows.
around.
Yeah,
she
knows.
shouldn't push back. She shouldn't challenge. She should take your lead and go with it and trust you. But otherwise, you're having fun. You're bringing each other joy. You're each other's, in a lot of ways. I mean, I know this sounds kind of stupid, but you're each other's kind of just fun relaxation point, which goes a long way to healthy relationships and hot sex. It goes a long way to then just being more playful.
And we see that even because we work with some pretty high caliber couples. I mean, the girl will be like dry as a bone, but when that boyfriend or husband gets in the room, man, they are laughing and giggling and punching him on the arm.
Just
completely different.
Completely different human being.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It goes a long way. So that's what we wanted to convey. And it's kind of it's an esoteric subject, and it's not like hard, but you can jokes, give her a nickname, tease her, have fun with her.
Yeah. Tickle. I mean, all of it.
All of it. Hit her with a pillow. I mean, it's dumb stuff.
Like you said, turn the light off whenever you leave the
every time you
room.
walk out of the room, leave her in the dark.
I mean, it's just anything goofy that you would have thought would be hilarious in junior high, do that.
Because she's never seen it.
Do that. And if she's seen it, it doesn't matter. Because it's still
She's
fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And she may not, we do have some friends, couple friends, and the men are almost terrified to even try any of this stuff.
Can't be afraid of it.
No, you got to know your audience.
Yeah.
No, she would love it.
Yeah.
She would love it.
She'll get over it.
She will love it. You may think that but if you think that she wouldn't love it, then she's taking herself too seriously too.
Yeah, she needs to lighten up.
She needs to lighten the fuck up. You're going to both stroke out.
Well, that's it for today. That is it. I think we've surmised it, but like we said, you're not a dancing monkey. Don't worry about that.
No.
Just have a good time. And
have a good time and take her along with you.
Perfect. Hope you guys have a great day.
Bye.